the contacts that I experience with people that have crossed over and the people that have come to me as clients, I consider that a sacred relationship. And it has to do with the depth of emotion that the spirits on the other side feel. And for me, it's the highest honor to be trusted enough to be allowed into their most intimate world of grief. Grief is suffered on both sides of the veil. We don't often think about that, but when a person crosses over and leaves their physical body behind, that departure can evoke really strong emotions. And it leaves questions for those left behind. In this particular case, I received a phone call from a woman who wanted to schedule a reading. Her concern was that she didn't know what had caused the death of her young husband. He was approximately 30 years old. It was a very instant, quick demise, and the coroner had been unable to determine his cause of death. As a medium who practices evidentiary mediumship, as all spiritual bodies that have a high standard of practice, you have to prove to the person that is sitting with you that you're actually talking to a real person. You're not just saying, oh yeah, your husband's here. You have to show he is. So I gave her some descriptions of the personality that he had. I had an impression of the type of work that he did, and she was able to confirm that, and a little bit about his looks. Then, once it had been established that I was speaking to her husband by the proofs that were offered, her husband started to speak. And he said, the first thing he said was so random. He said, "Don't let the boy eat tree nuts." He gave me the impression of a male child that was 2 to 3 years old. So I asked her before I passed that along, "Do you have a son?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "Is he 2 to 3 years old?" She said 2.5. And I said, "Well, your husband is saying don't let the boy eat tree nuts because apparently your son has some type of allergies. You might want to check with a doctor and verify that. But he's advising you to be vigilant about all of the types of things that would cause an allergy. Dairy, soy, corn, there's a big list of top allergens." The reading continued, and he explained to me that 2 weeks before he passed, he had been taking antibiotics. So I asked her, was he taking antibiotics 2 weeks before he passed? And she said, yes, he was. So with those proofs, I was able to bring through his explanation. And how he explained it was something that I didn't really understand myself. But he explained that the antibiotic had lowered his immune system and it made him more vulnerable to a food allergy that he wouldn't normally have reacted to. And so he had similar to an anaphylactic shock, a reaction in his body that just shut down all of his systems. Even though the information was very difficult for her to hear, because we don't like to think about the details of things, it did offer her a tremendous relief and give her closure. And the reading continued, and she had wondered if I could help her find her car keys. And it's totally not my favorite thing to do, to help people find things, but I have helped find a snake, a dog, and some keys. Anyway, he showed me an impression that she had come in the house and that there was this little wire rack by the door there that was for keys. She confirmed, yes, there was a wire rack. And I said, I see you not putting it on there, but going in, and you were thinking to yourself, I need to put these in a safe place. I see a bureau, but I'm not really feeling a bureau. And then Spirit gave me an image of gravel. And I said, do you have a gravel driveway? And she said, yes, I do. And I said, I have a feeling you might find it out in the gravel. And I actually don't know whether she found her keys or not, but she did tell me that the day after her husband had passed, that his parents were coming and there was a somewhat competitive and adversarial relationship with them. And she had not wanted them to have access to the keys. So she had thought to put them in a safe place, as I had felt, and that they had been hauling things in and out of a vehicle during the winter over that gravel driveway. Hopefully she found her keys. She sent me one of the most lovely personal thank you because of the closure that it brought her. I never know quite how messages will strike people, but for for her, it gave her the relief that she needed. And that's our tale from another side. And not everybody comes for closure. Many people have worked through their grief. Some of my clients have no interest in talking to someone on the other side at all. They just want to know about what's going on in their life, or they want to talk about their gifts or meet their guides, or, something completely different, animal communication. For those that suffer, I'm so happy to be able to help. So do other mediums across the country that take this as their life calling. Special bunch.